Welcome! Today I will be discussing the concept of gap. What does that mean? Well, actually, we have been discussing the importance of setting the objectives of change. So basically, what do you want to achieve? And the importance of measuring your objectives. So basically, whether you are right on track in order to get to the results that you are willing to achieve. So change is going from a situation A to a situation B. Basically, the difference in between your current situation, so A, and your future state, B, is the gap. Why is it important to determine the gap? Because basically, you will be in a position to determine the actions that you have to implement in order to achieve change successfully. Let's take the example of a company that actually has the objective of improving customer care provided to their customers. The measure that they are going to use is the number of complaints that the company receives on a weekly basis and on a monthly basis. Let's pretend that the current situation is 80 complaints per month, and they are broken down, for example, in 20 complaints per week. The goal is to go down to 40 complaints per month and basically 10 complaints, maximum of 10 complaints per week. The gap basically between the current situation, so an average of 80 complaints per month, and the situation that the company wants to achieve, so 40 complaints, is basically the gap. So 80 and 40, the gap is basically 40 complaints. How are we going to achieve a reduction in complaints? Well, actually, that's the next step. So is brainstorming actions that the company can actually implement and that they are going to facilitate achieving the goal, achieving the objective. How do you actually get to these actions? Well, there are several techniques that can be used. One of the most used is actually internal brainstorming. So it can be, for example, within the senior executive in the company, or within, for example, people that are specialized in a certain function. It can be marketing, it can be sales, depending, of course, on the objective of the company. Another possibility is to actually ask clients directly, so by running surveys on customer satisfaction. In this way, it's possible to understand why the customers are currently not particularly happy, or actually what the customer think is being provided by the company in a successful way. And also in this service it's possible to ask the clients directly what are measures that they would like to see implemented by the company itself. So determining the objective, measuring the objective, and establishing the gap are three key steps when managing change. There are a lot of companies that tend to skip those steps because they think that it's just waffle, just go for it. But it's actually very important not to underestimate the importance of these three steps. It's not unusual for companies to actually decide to go for an objective that is based just on assumption or just subjectivity, and then down the line it's clear that this objective is not that important, or actually it's not a priority for the company, or sometimes actually choosing measures that are totally and utterly irrelevant for the specific project, for the specific change. Or sometimes actually is not to define the gap and basically getting a little bit sort of, oh yeah, whatever, we just implement some actions and we will get there. So always take into consideration these three steps. What is the objective that we want to achieve? So what do we have to change and why? How are we going to manage change, to measure change? So basically, what kind of KPIs we are going to monitor, and also what is the gap between the current situation and the ideal situation, and the kind of actions that can be implemented along the way in order to manage change successfully and to achieve the objective within the time frame that has been set by the company. Thank you so much for watching.